The thing that I was looking at with Nico, and I was thinking wide receivers that could help. And we kind of know that Brew McCoy has to be back for the receiver group to be any better than average, don't we? Is that fair or is that too strong?
I don't know that. I'll just be honest with you.
Okay. Right. So I wrote a column. It's going up on offthehooksports.com of what to expect out of Tennessee's wide receivers. So they're led by Mike Matthews, who won the Polynesian Bowl MVP. And the other receivers are, Caleb, if you want to pull them up, they've got 3 receiver class, the transfer from Tulane, and the other
Chris
young man.
Brazzell, and then Braylon Staley.
Braylon Staley.
And then Braylon Staley out of South Carolina.
Right. So you got 3 coming in. I'm going to predict that none of them do much of anything, that they don't have as good of a first season as Squirrel White had at Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you why. But first, Caleb, give me your thoughts on that. Am I absolutely right or wrong? And then I'm going to tell you why it's not a bad thing. Go ahead.
No, I think you are. If everybody's healthy, I think I agree with you. And I wondered if I agreed with you for a while, but I think you're right. And I think you're right because I think Josh Heupel, you're right because of a reason I'm wrong, which is I thought I was out on Dante Thornton middle of the season, but I think healthy Dante Thornton and healthy Brew McCoy occupy those 2 whiteout spots. And I think Squirrel White is back in at the slot. And Heupel doesn't like to go that deep at receiver. And what he does prioritize is, I'm going to be honest, guys, when it comes to guys he chose, Heupel prioritizes seniority. Have you noticed that, Dave? He prefers
big time.
Guys.
And big time. That's part of the culture thing. Could it hurt Tennessee? Are there times where they play a B player instead of a B plus player because of seniority? Yes, I believe that. And typically, I absolutely hate that. I think the best kid deserves to play. But sometimes in football, it is 51%, 49%. It's that close. So you're going to go with the older guy. And I get it. And that's part of the reason they have the culture they do that is so, so strong. They weren't going to throw Joe Milton under the bus like I suggested they should in October. So yes, I think seniority plays a big factor. I don't think any of these 3 guys have an impact this year bigger than Squirrel White. And I'm going to tell you why that's not a bad thing. Brazzell he's just played 1 year. So he's got 4 years to play 3. The other 2 guys are freshmen. You can bring them along. I like Brazzell in a lot of ways better than the 1-year wonder that Brew McCoy was supposed to be. And it turns out Brew McCoy has been a great leader and an all-around good player. But I like the idea of a guy that you see flashes on in the college level that has multiple years to play, as Brazzell does. But I don't expect him to step in, even though the 3 are going to participate in spring practice. I do not expect him to step in and have a huge impact year 1 at all. Your thoughts, brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Design, Caleb. They want to be your jeweler looking for affordable game day jewelry. How about the Fire Opals, a Tennessee tradition? RickTerryJewelry.com, RickTerryJewelry.com. Support our sponsors. Caleb, am I wrong? Does it matter if these guys have a huge impact in year number 1?
No. As a matter of fact, what's going to happen is I'll just tell you guys what's going to happen because Dave knows how crazily high I've been on Tennessee 2024 with Nico.
Wait a second. So speaking of his state of mind, brought to you by the Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure you only receive the best in CBD or Delta products. Hemp House Chat with 2 T's, hemphousechat.com. Use the promo code HOOK for 10% off. You were crazily high on what? The Hemp
Dave
House.
was insinuating I was on drugs.
HempHouseChat.com. Use the promo code HOOKed. What? You're crazy high on what?
Okay, I'm crazy high on Tennessee this year. Here's what's going to happen. Nico's going to set record after record after record this year. And you know what you're going to see after that, Dave? Squirrel White, Dante Thornton, and Brew McCoy are the beneficiaries of those records. All 3 of them will go into the NFL next year. And then Nico will be back for 2025. And then you'll see Mike Matthews, Chris Brazzell, and Braylon Staley. And you know what's going to happen? Nico will set record after record after record. And Mike Matthews, and then at least Chris Brazzell will go to the NFL after that because he'll be eligible. Because I think that Nico is just Tennessee is going to have over. Y'all ready for this? Tennessee in one of the next 2 years will have 2 1,000-yard receivers in a season. That has never happened. I don't think they will have it.
Never happened. I don't think we've got to do some checking on that. Apparently, so you're crazy high on these guys. I am too, and I think the sign with also the kid from Stanford. I think you're talking about guys that have more eligibility and Hurd. I meant to say Hurd. From LSU, I think you have guys that have more eligibility than just the 1 year fix. I think this is huge for Tennessee, and I think it's a very positive sign for the program. Listen, I watched a lot of tape, so I've seen Staley, Brazzell, and Matthews. There's no doubt to me that they are 4 and 5 star prospects, but that doesn't mean you have to have an impact in year one. Now, let's compare it to Hurd for a second, okay? And work with me, guys, here on the message board, and just tell me if this makes sense. Okay, to me, and I did a radio show in Nashville yesterday, and if you start one game at LSU and then you play in every game, you are, as a true freshman, you are a 5-star transfer, correct? I mean, in the SEC, if you start one game and you play in every game like Hurd did, you're a 5-star transfer, right?
Yes.
As a true freshman. I don't know that a 5-star transfer could step in and play right away because Tennessee's receivers have got to understand the offense in depth to keep Nico from looking stupid, because it's all about the reads. You read the safety. If you read it wrong, Nico throws a ball that looks like a Milton, and suddenly you're like, man, this is Nico guy overrated. No, he might have thrown it to the right spot, but the receiver didn't make the right break. This is not the year to break in a bunch of young wide receivers.
No, it's funny because you and I talked about this. It's easy relative to other systems across the country. The offense is very easy for a quarterback to pick up, but it's much harder for a receiver to pick up. It's kind of like the Patriots back in the day. Remember with Tom Brady, when Tom Brady, all the receivers had option routes with the Charlie Weiss offense? And that's why you saw Chad Johnson went there and just could not for the life of him find his way into the rotation because he couldn't figure out how to do how to read the secondary. So no, I totally agree. And this isn't new either. I just want to go back through history real quick. Dave, 95, Joey Kent's 1,000-yard receiver. 96, Joey Kent's 1,000-yard receiver. 97, Marcus Nash.
I knew you were going to. I love it. That's where I was going. Go. Don't let me stop you.
Well, I don't want to steal it from you. No.
Go.
Okay, so
I was just going to ask you, who is going to be Nico's Joey Kent?
Okay, well,
who is going to look a lot better because the quarterback can get drafted higher in the NFL? Sorry, I don't know if that's where you're going or not.
Well, it is somewhat because after Joey Kent, what happens? Marcus Nash comes in and sets the single season record for receiving yards. Now, this is where seniority was a big thing. I randomly watched the 97 Tennessee Texas Tech game because it was on YouTube the other day and I saw it. And I didn't know this, but you may have. Okay, it was very clear in the 97 season that Peerless Price was the better receiver than Marcus Nash. Very clear, I think, to a lot of coaches. And you probably knew that watching then, right? That Peerless Price was better than Marcus Nash as a talent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But Peyton Manning was in Marcus Nash's wedding. They were very close. And they were very close. You bring it up for chemistry purposes. They made Marcus Nash the number one receiver over Peerless Price, even though Peerless Price was the better receiver. And
also a bigger target, and Peerless Price was more of a deep threat. So maybe Nash gets a few more opportunities. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Peerless got off to a bit of a slow start in 98 because he suffered an injury in spring practice, and everybody.
Peerless balled out immediately in 98 with T. Martin. I mean, he was the only thing.
Okay.
He had 2 touchdowns in the Syracuse game.
Man, you would think the guy that wrote a book about it would know that. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
As a matter of fact, he was the only guy that T. Martin could complete a pass to his first 5 games of the game.
That's true. Maybe I need to go back and read my own book. You can purchase it below and discounted prices, autographed copies from players as well. Relive the greatest season in Tennessee football with behind-the-scenes stories about the 1998 national championship team. Click below for Celebrate 98, the untold stories behind the Tennessee Vols 1998 national championship, available in soft and hard copies. Hit the like and subscribe button if you hadn't done that to this point. Elias just said 2021 Ohio State had 2 receivers go for over 1,000 yards. Then I want to talk tight ends.
I didn't say it's never been done in college football. I asked if it had been done in Tennessee history.
I don't think it has. I don't think it has.
They've only had 2,000-yard rushers once, and that was 2004. You covered that team with Gerald Riggs and Cedric Houston.
Yes,
and
it's true. And I don't think it's the 2 most talented running backs they had. I think it just worked out that way, to be real honest with you. And they were very equal. I don't think one was a lot better than the other.
Well, they also had some pretty good offensive linemen that year with Scott Wells and Albertoiana and Michael Munoz and Aaron Sears. And, you know, a few pretty talented guys.
Speaking of the big toe, Toina, we'll get to a Polynesian pipeline that Tennessee might have. And it hasn't happened in Tennessee. No, T did not go 20 for 20 in the Syracuse game, but he was
T went 9 of 26 in the Syracuse game.
Yes, he was not that good. All right, it is time for 4 Downs, and it's brought to you by our great friends, and we're going to talk to them about putting a hot tub in Neyland Stadium at some point. At Dynasty Pools and Spas, right there in Athens, their showroom is there. Let's get to 4 Downs because got something I want to kick around. 4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Let's talk about these wide receivers and what kind of impact they can have now.
4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Spas, the most comfortable spas made in the United States of America, right here in East Tennessee. Drop in for the all-new showroom in Athens. Dynasty Spas, perfect for all 4 seasons. 4 Downs, presented by Off the Hook Sports.
All right, here we go. Coop, what should people do if they want to be a part of the program? They should hop in the hot tub with you.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thank you. First down, Coop.
Coop here. First down.
You got it. All right, let me ask you this question as we talk wide receivers. What do you expect out of the trio? Give me a number of yards. Put the over-under at a number of yards from the combined 3 wide receivers, if you can, Caleb.
The 3 incoming for next year?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go about
all three expected to be midtermers.
I think they'll all be backups. So I'm going to go about 700 yards because you're going to see some mop-up duty for all of them. So they'll total about 700. You'll probably see Braylon Staley pull like the Squirrel White in 2022 and get like 400 to 500 in mop-up time. So I'm going to go 700 because I see like 3,000 from the starting 3 receivers.
It's a good number. I was going to go 750, so I guess I'll take the over. What down, Coop?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All righty. Who will be the most productive of the 3? Don't we have to go Brazzell since he has played?
It's going to be Mike Matthews. Overall, long term, it's going to be Mike Matthews. I just meant this year. Oh, this year. No, it's going to be Braylon Staley. They rotate the slot more than they rotate the wideouts. So it's going to be Braylon Staley.
That's true. But you do have Dante Thornton ahead of him.
But Dante Thornton's going to line up at wideout more, I think, with Squirrel White in the slot.
We'll see. That very well could happen. What down, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Okay. Will Josh Heupel protect Nico this season by the receivers that he plays? And I remind you that 4 Downs is brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Imagine having the best spas made right here in the U.S. in your backyard. Well, they're in Athens. The showroom is open. Complete support with any purchase. You get the spa cover, chemicals to keep your spa bubbling at its best. You can go to dynastypoolsandspas.com, dynastypoolsandspas.com to order those chemicals as well. But the showroom in Athens is fantastic. Mention Off the Hook Sports. Get $500. That's $500 off of your spa. Heupel is going to protect Nico with the receivers he plays, and he certainly should. I think Nico is an elite talent in terms of from the head up. I think he's a confident young man, whether or not cocky, whether or not he's a lawyer, a doctor, whatever. You know, he's the Alec Baldwin from that one movie a long time ago. You ask me if I'm God. I am God. So he has that type of confidence. So I don't think that you have to protect him, but I think you will, because if Brazzell or somebody else out there runs the wrong route, it can make Nico look bad. And he still is a young player, and you don't want his confidence dinged at all. I'm not worried about it, but it's worth considering.
Yeah, but protecting is relative, because I don't think this would be any different no matter who the quarterback is. Heupel needs the receivers to run the right routes. And so I think he will, but I don't think it's because he's Nico. I think he'd do the same with any quarterback. Look, I think Heupel's going to turn Nico loose more than he's ever turned any quarterback loose before. He turned him loose in the bowl game. This wasn't like, oh, let's keep the harness on the guy. I mean, he was just like, go all in. And I think he's going to do that next year. I don't think you're going to see y'all need to stop with this. He's young. He's building. He's got to develop. No, they're turning Nico loose.
I'm the one who told you that last August, and you were like, I don't know. I like this Joe Milton guy.
I said, no, I didn't. I said, save him for this year while he gets help, while he gets to the right size. But once he's ready to go, you turn him loose. And now he's ready to go.
Okay, just answer me this question, Batman. Did they win another game if Nico's the starter from October 1 on?
No, I've told you no.
Okay, we're not going to get sidelined then. I think they do.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
I think I know the answer to this question. Would you be worried at all if Tennessee's receivers don't have an impact this year? I think I know the answer. It's no.
Wait,
right?
All of the receivers or just these newcomers?
The incoming guys. All of them.
No, I
Brew
would not be worried.
McCoy transfers. Squirrel White decides to take up, I don't know, anthropology and get out of football. No, the 3 incoming guys. Caleb keeping me honest. All right.
No,
Caleb,
I would not be worried.